When I first joined Nexora Solutions, I was just happy I finally had a stable job. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't even well paid, but it was supposed to be a stepping stone. My boss, Mr. Raghav Mehta, was the kind of man who smiled only when someone failed. He liked watching people panic. He liked power too much. During my interview, he said, "We're a family here." But the first week showed me what kind of family he meant. The kind where everyone tiptoes around the father because he might explode at any moment. He gave me impossible deadlines, assigned me tasks meant for 2 people, held meetings that were basically monologues about how replaceable we all were. But I survived. Quietly. Until the day he crossed a line. 3 months in, the company got a huge international client. This deal meant bonuses, promotions, maybe even recognition. Our whole team worked late nights. Guess who took the credit? Not us. During the official presentation, Raghav stood there talking about his vision, his planning, his strategy. We were invisible. Later that week, he called me into his office and said, "I need you to polish the report for the final pitch. It must look like my writing style." That was normal. What wasn't normal was what he added next. If anything goes wrong, you're taking the fall. Understood? It wasn't a request. My mistake? Nodding. I stayed up till 3 a.m. finishing that report, double-checked numbers, triple-checked formatting. 2 days later, the client rejected our proposal, and in the meeting room, in front of the entire department, Raghav said, "It's because of her. The report was full of errors." My hands went cold. The room went silent. Everyone looked at me with pity, not because they believed him, but because they knew he had power and I didn't. He suspended me for a week. That day, walking out with my ID card turned off, something inside me snapped. At home, instead of crying, I opened my laptop because I remembered something. Every time Raghav dictated his work, he used a shared folder. He was too arrogant to think he needed privacy. And inside that folder were drafts, templates, plagiarized documents, pages copied from online reports, budget sheets lifted from other companies' PDFs, entire paragraphs ripped from market research papers. He hadn't written a single original thing in months. Then I found something worse, an invoice trail, fake vendor names, amounts that didn't match the budgets. He was stealing company money. Not in a big dramatic way, small cuts, small enough to hide, but consistent. Enough to ruin him, and enough to save me. I knew I had evidence, but evidence means nothing unless you use it right. I spent the next 5 days building a timeline, organizing proof, watermarking every document so he couldn't delete or modify them, backing everything to multiple drives. Then I created a folder titled Urgent for Audit Team Fraud Alert. I didn't send it. I waited. On Monday, I walked into the office. Everyone's eyes widened because they thought I was suspended. I walked straight to Raghav's office. He looked annoyed and said, "What are you doing here? I haven't approved your return." I smiled and said, "I know, but the audit team did." His face froze. I handed him an envelope. Inside was a simple note. "Check your email." He opened his laptop. At that exact moment, every manager, every senior officer, and the finance head received the evidence folder. He clicked. His face drained of color. He read through the files, the stolen templates, the falsified invoices, the vendor fraud. He looked at me like I wasn't a human being anymore. I was a problem he had never imagined. "You don't know what you've done," he whispered. "Oh, I do. And so does the HR head. She's on her way." Behind me, the glass walls reflected the scene. Executives moving quickly, people whispering, HR approaching with security. His downfall took exactly 14 minutes. As they escorted him out, he kept shouting, "She framed me! This is a misunderstanding!" But no one listened. For once, his voice didn't matter. The next week was quiet. Too quiet. The company didn't fire me. They called me brave. They thanked me. They even offered me a raise. But here's the twist. During the internal meeting, they revealed something shocking. Raghav wasn't stealing for himself. He was covering up for the CEO's nephew who had been siphoning money for over a year. My evidence exposed both of them. The nephew resigned and moved overseas overnight. But the CEO? He was furious. Not at the fraud, but at me, the person who revealed it. He said in a calm voice, "You did the right thing, but this company rewards loyalty, not troublemakers." I understood the message. The raise was a mask, the praise was temporary. Sooner or later, they would find a way to get rid of me. So I resigned. A month later, I got hired by a multinational firm. During the interview, the manager said, "We heard what you did at Nexora. We need someone exactly like you." Revenge didn't ruin my career. It built it. Sometimes you don't burn bridges, you expose who was hiding under them.